But we've been having some success with Basim, Tamiyo, Mox Amber, Mishra's Bauble. This kind of package of like Basim with a lot of cheap legends, and then Mox Amber with a lot of cheap legends to get the actual Mox in. And we have another good cheap blue legend in Kitsa Otterball Elite, one that is also a wizard. And Tamiyo, which is kind of part of this package, is also a wizard, and it's very good with Flame because you can pick up Flame with Tamiyo and then Flame again. And then Kitsa is very good with Flame because you get to copy it with the activate ability. And then Mox Amber is also very good with Kitsa because it gives you, one, the prowess trigger for Kitsa so that it's easier for you to copy something, and it gives you the extra mana so it's easier to copy something too. Being black in this archetype also gives you Cling to Dust so you're not as weak to Flage, which is a pretty big deal. Also nice some splash damage against Gorios. Being black also gets you Break the Ice, which is like kind of better than Charmal in this archetype. I've been kind of realizing because you get to just pick it up with Tamiyo, bring it back with Snapcaster. And yeah, I know we trophied with the Flare build of wizards, and so this is Kitsa, Basim wizards. But I think this list looks really, really sick. Decent deck. I hate being on the draw with no 1-drop, but I don't know that I could mulligan this hand. On Unearth, maybe over Cling. I think the Clings are super uncuttable because of how problematic Flage is for the archetype. But I don't know. I would also like just not play it on Earth. So maybe we're up against Nadu. We are up against Nadu. Yeah, I don't know. Do people like the card Unearth? I don't know that I've ever played a deck where Unearth is like good for me. You know what I mean? I guess I'm sure some people like it. Turn 2 Grist with Unearth is pretty good. I mean, super inconsistent because you have to mill it over with Supplier. But I mean, it has its moments, of course. If it didn't, no one would care. But I've played a lot of Unearths and never actually felt like the card is incredible. That was a big Unearth and Jordan Azo decks. It used to be. It's just we're living in just a very different world, Just not the same as it used to be. Yeah, Chthonian Nightmare is really nice. This deck is already so grindy. His deck is so grindy. It's Unearth I don't think is even makes much sense at all. Okay, so do I play around second Nadu or do I get this Kitsa down? It seems like I can afford to just wait a turn and then play Kitsa with Counterspell up the following turn. I think that's kind of scary. Attack for 3. If they have a fetch land, I want to counter. If they don't, I don't. Maybe we'll just kill this turn. Pretty tough spot. But deal 5 means I take 2 less damage, and they're getting, half the tokens. Seems worth countering. Well, we only have one more counterspell. And if my opponent has another Nadu, the game is over, probably if I use the counterspell here. Where Kitsa is a pretty beefy... It's a pretty beefy 2-drop that can just all of a sudden, boom, we're stable on board and my life total is not too low. They didn't have the land anyways. So I don't know. But also copying Flame of Anor with Kitsa is, hella juicy. And is also the stream title, which maybe we should have done that because it's the title. If you counter, you can kill Shugo with Flame. Yeah, but then I maybe I'm just dead to the Nadu. Okay, so this line was right, it seems. It was an interesting spot, if you would have done something else. I think, would it not have been that unreasonable, but this line definitely ended up working out. I guess I want to cling first. So I can trigger the prowess and Have another card to loot away, potentially. Okay, so we'll save Fatal Push for Basim, or sorry, Nadu number 3. Two cards in their hand. If they have a Court of Calling, it's not very good for me. In these spots, you're supposed to let... No, it's just supposed to respawn, because they should have equipped on something else. If they have only Nadu, you're supposed to let this resolve and let them activate again, so they have one less look at a Court of Calling. Oh, that's the same amount of looks. Never mind. I take it all back. Okay, they reveal Waterlogged Grove here. If they don't have Court of Calling as the last card, which would be such a disaster, they could sack the Waterlogged Grove to look for it. I guess they could just do that after. So they can get at my Tamiyo for 1. We're definitely going to want to just probably plus this Tamiyo for like the remainder of the game. They attacked me, which is interesting. Maybe I should have kept that to loot away. Only being able to copy if Kitsa's 3 power is quite the annoying restriction. Yeah, the Mox Amber helps a good amount for whatever that's worth. I don't think that they have a Court of Calling. They certainly could. But it seems I think I'm gonna not play around it. I think the longer we wait, we give them more and more looks at it, and if this just resolved, the game almost ends. I guess shifting Woodland could be a big problem. Juicy with the 34 months. It's a long ass time. Thank you so much. Again, I could keep this to loot away, but with the Cling to Dust of the Yard and the fact that I'm going to draw 2 and then have things to loot away, I think it's okay to play, and I can get a Surveil land too. Okay, let's see what they target. I think I'm just going to flame this in response. Can't exchange control if the creature is gone. Why are they not blocking Kitsa? Because I can pump. It's as prowess. So up a game against Nadu. I do kind of think that these wizard decks are kind of good against Nadu. Flame of Anor is really good against them. It kills Nadu, it kills Shuko, it can kill Nadu while keeping up on cards. Maybe I should say it's like as good as it gets. It's not like super duper good against it, but it's like pretty solid. Yeah, tricky game to navigate. Got there.
What's up? It's me, your friend, Aspiring Spike.
Something like this. Looks okay. Below 10 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Mom with the 26. Dowerport Mage plus double Fildar Enjoyer. Sounds like your brews. Combos like that are just like lose to Bowmaster are tough. I want to play Dowerport Mage plus Satoro really badly though. Did you see with the 34? Thank you. Welcome back. Like, I just have a vision for, like, Grixis Aether Vial with Port Mage, Sotoro, Aether Vial, Norin the Wary, and then, like, can we also play Basim in that deck? Because we have Aether Vial, Norin, um, Sotoro to trigger it. Then, like, what does the rest of the deck look like beyond that? I've been having a hard time. Having a hard time. Putting spoiling the Tamiyo ult. I don't know if I was gonna ultimate Tamiyo. Kind of needed to keep plussing it. Okay, deck tech for Claw. Didn't do that well with Karuga, although he mostly just got slaughtered by Tron all league. So I don't love that you only have 4 good things to sack to Flare. You should not play 3 Zurin Orbs. You should play 1 Zurin Orb, and then any other Zurin Orb should just be Sylvan Safekeepers. I like the look of this hand. So what I could do here is I could go just... Okay, that's interesting. So I can go Steam Vents Bolt Halfling, play Bauble. Then I can go Crack Bauble on their turn. Then I can go Tamiyo, Mox Amber, Preordain, flip the Tamiyo. Alternatively, I can go Tamiyo this turn. Tamiyo, Preordain also. And next turn I could play Kitsa plus Bolt and just have the Tamiyo in play. Let's bolt the bird. Was Toxic Deluge modern for Image 3? No, it was printed in Image 3. Love any deck with 4 bolts. We have 3 bolts. Do you still love the deck? Okay, good card to know about. So very interesting list. I don't know about the Valakut plan. The Lotus Field plan is cool. The Deserted Temple. It looks like a good start. I think I like the idea of more Sylvan Safekeepers. Now, I could also not flip Tamiyo, and I could play Kitsa and Tamiyo this turn. I'm kind of leaning towards that. We can flip it next turn kind of easily because we have the Kitsa loot and the Preordain. Should probably have Shifting Woodland in the mana base. I was trying to figure out like Shifting Woodland Aftermath Analyst loops with like Amulet of Vigor, because you can go like Woodland, copy Aftermath Analyst, and then sack it after you copy it, and then bring back the Woodland, which I think is pretty interesting. Okay, so this triggers Prowess. This triggers Prowess. We could copy the Preordain if we really wanted to. I don't think I really want to. Let's bottom the Basims. Trigger Prowess again. Take a peek at my top card. Polluted Delta. So I guess let's go attack with these. Loot away the loot this, flip the Tamiyo. Opponent takes 4. Take a look at the top card. It's another Tamiyo. So I'm going to plus this. I'm going to crack this Delta on my opponent's turn, so if I draw Fatal Push, I have Revolt. And I can draw Flame of Anor, Fatal Push to kill the Nadu dead, and if I don't, I may just Otawara right now, and I'll probably think a little bit more about it, but... Alright, we drew the Flame. Let's do this now. Didn't have Shuko earlier. They have not. If they find Nadu plus Shuko, it is what it is. I guess we know they have the Summoner's Pact. Dom and the Amulet Discord have been working that with Lurmer too. Seems a potential. I agree. It's interesting. I like in my testing, it hasn't been like doing that much. Swan Song. Okay. Then a Summoner's Pact, 2 mystery cards. We can now block so we can pick up the Flame of Anor. They get a Summoner's Pact for Sylvan Safekeeper. They get Bristly Bill. I guess that makes a lot more sense. They missequenced though because they already played their land, so I guess they didn't think their line through enough. They play Breeding Pool untap. Do you want them to tap for mana abilities to get core for save group response? Maybe. They reveal a ring, counter on the Nadu, 3 cards in their hand. There's a Delighted Halfling. So we can. They're attacking me? You're not the aggro deck here, opponent. Maybe you are. I'm gonna not block now. I probably would have jumped otherwise. Okay, pretty obnoxious. I'm not able to copy the. I mean, I guess I had to draw something kind of specific. But they cast a Summer's Pact this turn too, so don't need to be too upset. If they hit a land here and they hit another land, okay. No, dude. I hate Nadu so much. Why is this shit so legal? I don't know. I think we gotta go for it here. 3 lands in a row. One of them's a Saga. No copy. I could not copy. I was just lamenting the fact that I could not copy. You have to have 3 power on the Kitsa. So I didn't draw like a Mox Amber or Mishra's Bauble to be able to do that. So there's a Deluge that I can't quite cast. Let's go to game 3. Let's just go to game 3. I guess I could lewd, but let's go to game 3. White Knight Phantom could be in a blue-white Spirits deck. I think it helps the deck a little. It certainly helps. I mean, if I was going to play Spirits, I would definitely play that. I also have Mockingbird now, too. Otawara safe play. We still lose to them hitting 3 lands in a row. I think it's okay to maybe just hope they don't hit the land off the Grizzly Bill. You know, we're favored to win that flip, kind of. So it says, first time playing this deck, it's vile. Yeah, Flame is, like, about as good as it gets. I mean, it's also, like, Deluge, I guess. We have to play for game 3. Have you been playing Spirits Rift? Does sound pretty sick. Okay, opponent's on the mold to 6. I'm keeping this. Love to find Mox Amber or Bauble for Basim next turn. Opponent's on the mold to 5. Would I consider main deck and Consign to Memories? I don't think we're there, but like the Consign is just bad against energy, and it just like that's enough of a reason for me to not main deck it. Is clean not a consideration for the woodland? I don't think we want it for just woodland, but maybe it's okay. We'll keep this on top. We can maybe just go Tamiyo into Flame on the play against the mold to 5. Pioneer Spirits, but yes. Mox Amber would be crazy. Go Basim, draw a card, Tamiyo. Yeah, I guess that makes a lot more sense than Pioneer, huh? Mold to 5 and has a Grazer is interesting. Tamiyo time. With kids so you can loot them away. This isn't a great argument. There's also like not a lot of room for like random ass main deck consigns. I would like play Spell Snare or Spell Pierce instead. Let's just sideboard the sideboard card too, you know. Not rocket science. On turn 1, is it better to fetch land versus just island to thin the deck by 1 card? Not with Surveil lands in the deck, and not in general either. Like, we're going to draw a lot of cards, so we don't mind having more lands, necessarily. But the presence of Surveil lands makes that whole line of thinking, I think, just not where you are supposed to be. Okay, let's get a Watery Grave and flip the Tamiyo. I guess we might as well get a clue first. And Monobird, I'm all about Shadow Netherglyph. That sounds really fun. I'm gonna kill the Halfling, so they have a harder time slamming a Ring, which would be the worst case scenario. They'd have to have untapped land plus a Ring as their last 2 cards. Or like Nadu plus Shuko. They do have untapped land. They're copying a Grazer, which is great news for me. I think. Oh wait, I don't have my Wizard in play anymore. It's okay. Four supplier, four Mockingbird. That's stuff. I mean, Mockingbird is really cool. We'll definitely, work on it some more. Okay, I'm gonna keep the Amber for next turn's Basim trigger. Of all the decks I played, I really think like these Flame of Anor decks beat a Nadu more often than like anything else. I don't know. It's like Flame is so good against them. All the cheap removal, all the cheap counter spells, access to sweepers. Just a pretty reasonable formula. The only way we lose this game is if my opponent has Court of Calling right now. So let's play around it. So I can cast this Preordain and still flame the halfling with Counterspell up. These are both fine. The thing is, it's like I'm about to draw like my deck, so all I really care about, I think, is having a little bit of a cleaner answer to this halfling. Because I'm just gonna ultimate this Tamiyo and then more than less likely find a Toxic Deluge. So I don't think I need like the grindy stuff. I kind of want the cheap stuff. That makes sense. Yeah, Amber's able to tap for green because Tamiyo is green on the flip side. So they have two cards in their hands, so they can't get Nadu, counterspell my counterspell, and then also Shuko unless they have Veil of Summer, I guess, and draw Shuko with Veil of Summer. I don't know why I'm saying that. Why do I ever open my freaking mouth on this stream? Why? It like literally there's no chance they have Veil unless I summon this. And now like they have to have drawn Shuko here. But why do I open my fucking mouth ever? This needs to be a silent stream. Okay, they didn't draw Shuko. Somehow. Yeah, I think I'm gonna ultimate the Tamiyo, so I just am digging for Deluge. I guess that's not even really real, because I might even be drawing one less card here. I don't know. Did I find Deluge? Not yet. There it is. We could attack first, but then we lose the floating mana, so I think I'm just gonna Deluge. Alright, let's keep this. What you up to over there? Nothing good, probably. Be Merfolk. I've been trying to. There's that one card that's like exiles all cards in your library, as many non-land cards in the library as you want, and that card's pretty interesting to me. Obviously, because you had all these new blue MDFCs, but you also like you can just play one or two islands really easily in that archetype, and just like not exile those for your Thassa's Oracle. So I was trying to brew with that archetype a little bit to get a little stuck. But I think since I'm, now expecting my opponent to be trying to like slam a 4-mana card to win the game, I'm going to just play Kitsa. Even if they have like Teferi to bounce Kitsa here, then we just get both the Teferi. Yeah, Cavern for Thoracle is pretty reasonable too. I was working on it. I don't really remember where I finished. It's on my Aspiring Spec account. I don't know that that's what they're doing, but I probably spent like 3 hours on that on Sunday and then didn't really get super far. Yeah, selective memory. I kept confusing that with consigned to memory, the name. I play that untapped. Okay, seems like it's going to be correct for me to Basim, then Amber, draw a card with Counterspell up. If they counter this, it's okay. Salindy Vision in response. They'll have Force of Negation, so watch out. Yeah. Not too worried about it, I guess. I think the Helga deck was okay. We just kind of played against too much Tron. Snapback. Okay. Are you gonna snap back my Kitsa in response? Subtlety, sure. Probably gonna put that on the bottom now. Okay, so cast an Amber, get in for 2. I believe it's Basim Ibn Ishaq. I actually called a friend of mine for a lot of the Assassin's Creed cards because he's a high school teacher and knows how to pronounce like names in general, and he also speaks Arabic, which is, I guess, more important. But he told me it's probably Basim, but he says that he's seen people pronounce it a different way. I can't remember what the other way was. Nick 9 months came from the Landfall YouTube video we played against the Bant Pod deck. I need that deck. That was pretty sweet. Okay, so they bounced my Kitsa with a snapback. They did that at the wrong time. Getting pretty close to killing my opponent. I might be dead if I draw a land. Can I go bolt, snap, bolt, double amber? So this would be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 4. Yeah, that's enough. If I draw another red source. I didn't draw another red source, so it seems like it's probably correct for me to not do that and just hold up snap counterspell. Getting like clean end of turn. We should ban all free spells. Every free spell is an abomination to the modern format. Snapback, you gotta go. Ban all pitch cards. And the world was deaf with the sound of thundering applause. Mox Amber's a free spells abomination? Yes, of course. All free spells. Can counter this, even if they draw their selective memory, it just doesn't really do anything anymore. And I might want to save this Preordain to trigger prowess for next turn, so this would be 3 prowess plus 2 bolts, so that's 4 plus 6, 10. Not quite enough, so I guess we'll Preordain. Bolts at 4, 5, 6. I guess we have lethal next turn just with bolt, snap, bolt, copy, bolt. Mr. Sari, 40 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Appreciate you. Free spell should be 1 for 3s, exactly as Commandeer intended. Well, Commandeer is not a 1 for 3. It's a 3 for 2. So I don't know if there's another example. Soul Spike? Yeah, Soul Spike, sure. That card would never see any play. Oh, I missed this Lotus Bloom. They have no lands that aren't in WC. I don't know if they don't. They should have an island in the deck, I think. I think it's pretty good, correct to play at least one island. I was playing 2 on some of my initial drafts. Am I a Naruto fan by chance? No, I've never seen it. I'm just pretending to be a cool kid with all of the Naruto themed stream assets. Okay, so let's go. I guess we just copy the flashback bolts in combat. Sorry, I floated the blue mana, but it's like a little weird. But we just go target them with the bolt, then we play Snapcaster, target the bolt, and then we don't copy till after we attack. Although they have something, so I don't know. Okay, well, we've got an exiled bolt now. I'll just hold up Counterspell. I'm never gonna copy anything with this Kitsa card, I guess. Yeah, I'm just a Boruto fan. I like Boruto. Yeah, it's way better. I've never seen it. I've consumed little to no Boruto content, just like posts I see online. Why are they playing Lotus in their deck, actually? Let's let this resolve. We can't really lose this game, even if this does resolve, I think. And this is going to show us their deck. So I'm going to let this resolve, and I'm going to, I guess, use the restroom real quick while they figure all this out.
What's up? It's me, your friend, Aspiring Spike. 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 What's up? It's me, your friend, Aspiring Spike.
They're still resolving this one, huh? Every time.
What's up? It's me, your friend, Aspiring Spike.
Once a day, I break this silly boom arm. Okay, so they have one card in their library here. It's a Thassa's Oracle. I'm excited. Okay, so they're also playing Belcher. So I guess that would be a reason to not play the island, is because they're a combination Belcher Selective Memory deck. When I was working on this, I was just playing Selective Memory. You can still play Belcher? Maybe? I don't know. I guess I would explain the Oracles. The thing is like, this just doesn't look good to me. Like, there's no Counterspell. I was like trying to be more of like a controlling deck and kind of play Selective Memory as like a inverter combo card where you like, cast it, untap, and win. But they have kept an Oracle. I have Counterspell. Caverns in the sideboard. I don't think you can really... With Goblin Charbelcher, they might not have Cavern at all. Be great if you could make them draw 2. That's true. The good news is they're very dead, so... Don't even need to make them draw 2. Is there a Bolt on top? Preordain. What am I doing? Why am I... I'm not even going to attack. They're dead. They're dead. Wait, they're only playing 1 Oracle? I don't think they should play 2. I was playing more than 1. Blue for Flame to kill. I mean, they're just dead. I'm just wasting too much time here. Gotta keep the stream going, baby. Okay, so Consign is crazy. It stops Oracle ETB. It stops Lotus Field cast or Lotus Bloom cast. It stops Charbelcher. Card's crazy. Your turn. Thanks for the other. Okay, I missed that. That's good. I think you should play at least 2, possibly 3. Probably 2, though. Selective Memory is the worst spell to resolve on Moto. Ace Rack's pretty bad if you're trying to like cast it a million times. Although I guess you only have to each individual resolution isn't the worst. I'll keep this. Flute seems good. Yeah, I guess you should have Flute too. Did they pivot into Belcher? Well, they're not pivoting into Belcher because they just have Belcher in their deck game 1. So we play the Tamiyo first, that Mox Amber can tap for mana. Even if like flashback doesn't happen, it happens here. But although I guess I'm not casting the Preordain right now. I'm gonna hold up Counterspell. Not that they're gonna have a ton for me to Counterspell, I guess. Shorten to Max, thank you for the 7 months. Appreciate you. Glad you're still liking the stream. Welcome back. Don't think I need more counter magic. Just kind of be hitting land drops, I guess. Maybe I keep that. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't keep that counter spell. So I do mostly just want lands. I think this kills like Resolve Charbelcher. Like, do I just flame this? I think I should play around Pact of Negation. Or Disrupting Shoal. And/or Disrupting Shoal. Keep going, keep pitching, that's okay. That's fine, baby. I'm gonna Flame of Anor, and you're gonna be like, dang it, this was a bad matchup. I'm gonna go subscribe, I don't know. Referring to Demolish Phoenix recently? No. It's been a little bit. I don't think I've played it on stream since Image 3. We did a little bit of paper testing of Dingo's build when he was over here. Thank you for playing. Kitsa's so Kitsa is, I think, better in this deck than in the Flare build we had. I think Kitsa is passable in both builds and better in this one. Because like the Mox Amber really just makes, I think the Mox Amber and Bauble make the prowess part of the card a lot stronger. And also like we're Basim deck, so having we're Basim Mox Amber deck, so like Kitsa's just stronger here. But Kitsa's just kind of been good in general. All right, 2-0. I think both Wizard Shells are pretty good. Obviously, Boomborough had a lot of wizards in it, so Flame of Anor got better. Okay, keeping this one. It's really bad if I Preordain here, or if I Tamiyo and don't Preordain and they Thoughtseize the Preordain and I just miss my second land and lose, but that would never happen. Have I tried 8 Augur Bolas Wizard Shell? If so, it's better with that wizard. We trophied with 5. I don't think you do not want to play it. We played 5 with 4 flames. That felt like a good number. So let's Preordain. Looking for red source. I'll take it. I'll be more specific next time. Ooh, how do you feel about this? Taps for mana. Said it jokingly. Oh, sounds like me. Yeah, we'll circle back to the Helga deck eventually. I'm just kind of in the Tron bracket a little bit. Wanted to get to this today too. Might update the Helga deck. I thought it was, interesting. Really good to draw this counterspell. Not so great to not draw a land, but I guess we weren't playing it this turn anyways. Maybe they'll Flage my Tamiyo. Okay, no Flage. Wrath the Skies for 1. Okay, they didn't need to spend the extra mana. It seems like they thought that they would be able to kill my Tamiyo. Seven cards in their hand. Do you feel like you play better with chat suggestions of my own? I play much better when I'm not streaming. When I'm streaming, I'm not like ever looking for chat for help, but I am trying to entertain and trying to focus on keeping matches interesting, engaging while engaging with questions and trying to, have fun. That is my focus: is entertaining, teaching, showcasing ideas. I'm basically, when I don't stream, I get to focus on playing the fucking game. Okay, let's get in with the Tamiyo. Was Kitsa possible play? No, just hold up Counterspell against the turn they have ring up. They might Solitude now. I just get the Bolt. I think I'll Bolt them anyways. Love to draw some lands. I'm going to plus the Tamiyo. Let's go to combat. Land number 3. Let's find it. I believe. There we go. Did flip this. It's okay. I'm going to activate the Monumental Henge. Alright, they reveal a ring. They can go ring with Counterspell up. That's not going to be ideal. Be okay, though. They've already played 2 Wrath the Skies. I think at this point in the game we gotta get a little aggressive, so let's hope to dodge another Wrath the Skies. I might also pick up Lightning Bolt with Tamiyo this turn. Okay, now I'm definitely picking up the bolts. I don't think they're playing Flage. The third Wrath the Skies? No, dude. Yeah, Wrath does not kill Planeswalkers. They're gonna Minamo the ring. If they do, they go to like a really awkward 6 life points. And I don't think my opponent is playing Flage. They have no red mana, so I'm gonna bolt you. Play patterns, am I right? So they're down to 3. Got lethal Snap Bolt. We could maybe pick up Bolt again with Tamiyo. We could maybe pick up Counterspell and have Snap Bolt with Counterspell up. We're also, have the Basim that they have to deal with, which probably won't be too tough for them. Tapped Rogran Triome to binding the Tamiyo for 2. 11 cards in their hand. It's going to play another ring, I guess. play patterns. Should have waited for them to activate, not that it mattered. No, it shouldn't. We want them to not draw Force of Negation off the tap. I guess we could let the tap happen. Yeah, I don't think it matters that much, but yeah. Maybe you're right. Actually. So I'm going to give myself the ability to draw a counterspell here. They can't really tap this ring. Mistveil Plains, wow. The Brain Surge flipping the Tamiyo is really awkward for them because now they can't like just counter the bolt. Tapping the ring is interesting. You don't got a counterspell? How do they have nothing? Alright, no. Ring sucks, I guess. Or did my opponent just forget to put they just forget to put Flage in their deck? Hard to say. They're also on binding, so Consign is even better too. Consign's gonna just be great, I guess. I want one bolt. I don't think they're on Flage. I'm gonna go down and cling. Might have a hard time closing games without the second bolt. I guess I can go down on Flame. Flame's actually not that good. It's just like instant speed divination. It's not that often you're gonna get to kill something with it. I cut an Amber. I already cut an Amber. I don't think you're supposed to go down to 2, but I do like to trim an Amber against control. All right, good looking hand. Must not have realized I was going to flip it. I guess, I mean, their hand just seemed to, I don't know how it was so bad, but just kind of seemed like it was awful, I guess. Be a shame if I just played another one opponent after Basim Mox Amber. Well, I guess they might flare counterspell my Basim. That's okay, if they do. Does no one play standard anymore? I mean, there's lots of good standard players. Ash Zizzle is like probably my favorite standard streamer. But for me, I'm just like a modern specialist. What I like to do is brew and try to innovate in modern. I've been doing that full time for a while now, and it's tough to do that. It's tough to brew in a lot of different formats at once. At least for me. Why cling over surgical this deck? You can main deck cling, you can't main deck surgical, and main deck answers to Flage are really nice. We're not going to main deck surgical. Okay, so another Wrath Disguise here. They needed to have tuned the narrative to also kill the Basim, so that's not the most ideal for me, I guess. But they have 3 cards, I have 4 cards, so we're not, in such bad shape. Let's not just lose to Land Ring, though. Opponent does not have their 4th land. Don't think it really matters which land we get here. I'm going to keep this. Not going to pick this fight. Alright, not so bad. Oh yeah, Ollie too. Although Ollie plays a lot of different formats, not just standard. I mean, Ash does too. Ash is just more focused on standard, I think. I haven't been able to tune in to like mini Magic streams lately. It's really bad, actually, if this gets countered, but I don't think it will. SOXO, good username. I think within 9 months. Where's our blue-black Titan? MH4, maybe. Can you explain why Surgical can't be the main deck with Cling can? Yeah, just like Cling is a card that just cycles when you draw it. You draw it, you target a non-creature, it cycles. It's like a card advantage card. It's just kind of like a reasonable thing against like everything, right? Whereas Surgical Extraction is like very good against Gorios, and it's nice that it can target Flage, but it's a card that's going to be like actively bad to draw a lot of the time. And cards that are like kind of actively bad to draw like this are not main deckable, while Cling that just cycles and the floor on it is not that as low as the floor on Surgical. Again, Surgical specifically good against a lot of stuff. You wanna bring it into matchups where it is, you know, specifically good like that. That makes sense? The Pierce hurts. Feels good to be on this side of the Spell Pierce for once. Dis with the Twitch Prime, appreciate you. Welcome back. All that good stuff. Might get Veil Summered, but we still get to draw the 2 cards because the Flame of Anor targets. Okay, interesting they chose to counter this and not the Snapcaster. I guess the Snapcaster is not doing that much. And they stopped me from second to Clue. We don't like Blue Flare in this deck. Not in this one. We trophied with a build that was playing Blue Flare. The Basim build I don't think should play Blue Flare, and I think that the blue-red build without the legendary, like the Mox Amber package, should play it. And I don't think that you can realistically or optimally play both. But Tamiyo is so much better than I and probably most people expected it to be. I'm gonna get Basic Island then a little bit less fetchable. Want to get it out of the deck also. Bottom both of these. Have one more bolt in the deck, so we'll leave the option to grab that. Tough to not be able to have this Counterspell up. I think with no historic card for Basim right now, I'll just take the Counterspell. This with the Twitch Prime. Think we're back. Do you play competitive in paper? Yeah, I'm kind of off and on with how much I'm paper grinding. I haven't played a tournament in a while, but I'm gonna go play in Vegas this year. That's gonna be my next big event. So I guess we're gonna pick up the bolt to bolt the Tamiyo after we attack it for 1. I think I'm really going to try to ride this Tamiyo to victory, so that looks like me just saving the Snapcaster for counter magic. Although maybe I should go Snap Counterspell or Snap Bolt and just pick up Counterspell. That could be better. But it's also, my hand is more telegraphed that way. The Sealed. Yeah, the Sealed PTQ event. I don't know if I'm going to play any other events besides the Sealed. Would I consider Eternal Weekend? I mean, I would love to go play Eternal Weekend one year. Yeah, I would love to. It's just kind of tough to go and play in a format I don't specialize in, have to borrow decks and like learn, but I would be down one year. Maybe not this year. Is the Basim Ring deck not good these days with Wrath around? I think so. Of all the like Urza Saga decks, I don't think you need to worry so much about Wrath of Skies because you're just a deck that's main decking for Force of Negations. I didn't find that the control matchup was that bad. I think that the build is still reasonable, but we're just always trying to innovate and reiterate on ideas, you know? I love that Snapcaster is our main win con in this matchup. So let's use Snap Counterspell so we still have these two up while being as mana efficient as we can be. And also putting a bit more pressure on our opponent. Okay, well, if their last card is another Counterspell... Oh. Okay, hopefully it's not Veil of Summer, but we can replicate this Consign. We can replicate this Consign, so if their last card's a Counterspell, the ring still gets countered. But it says they have a question before they concede. Let's get a trophy prediction while our opponent types out the question. We're 3-0. The turn I played Ring, and you Pierce. I had Counterspell and Veil of Summer and Tamiyo. Would you have played Tamiyo instead? Yes, for sure. Yeah, it's just in those spots. It's like you like the Tamiyo is going to be good to resolve if it sticks, and then you could set yourself up to draw a land and go Ring Veil. Would definitely have played Tamiyo instead of Ring there. And you know the copy ability is, it seems to be mostly gravy here. Okay, I'm gonna mulligan. Keep. Lurrus would make red-white injury even stronger. Yeah. I mean, Lurrus should not be unbanned. I absolutely should not be unbanned. Should go without saying, but there's some very greedy Grixis gamers out there. So we're likely up against Goryo's here. Does anybody have strong feelings about Grief Scam? Probably not. We do have main deck Clings, and we have Hearse on the side, extra counterspells on the side. They pitched a Thoughtseize, so I guess it could be like Orzhov or something else. So I think I should crack this Bauble now so that if I draw a Bolt, I can stop the Grief Scam. Okay, is Goryo's. Confirmed. Not that lucky. Gross. Really gross. Their next card is Priest. Okay, they can't cast the Priest, though. Tough draw to beat. Do they draw a black or white source for the Priest that's in their hand? Of course they do. Game 2. Hearse in. Spell Pierce in. Spell Pierce in. Force Negation in. Force Negation in. Narset is okay. It's kind of hard to tap out for. We might get the Narset in there. I'm going to cut all the bolts. Fatal Push kills Grieve, kills Frog. Flame of Anor also can kill these cards. I think we probably want all of these. They can trim a Mox Amber. Maybe trim a Kitsa. Yeah, I think I want the Flames. It's kind of a nice answer to Frog. Maybe not that good of an answer to Frog. Right, let's submit this. Is it Deluge decent? I don't think so. No, there's no way you want to bring it in. I think you don't want to bring it in. Flute is good anti-Frog. I don't think it's good anti-Frog. I think it is somewhat passable, but your opponent spends 2 mana on a 1/2 card that you still have to deal with because it's going to draw you a card every time. You Flute to make that Frog a little bit worse, and you spend 2 mana, and they spend 2 mana, and you're behind, so... I would certainly not call it a good answer to Frog. I would say it has some text against our opponent's deck, but probably not worth bringing in. How much of winning comes down to Mulligan Discipline, do you think? I mean, a lot, yeah. Mulligan Discipline is very important. On the play, maybe one Narset? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm gonna not play it, but it would be fine to bring in. Alright, let's use one of the baubles on turn 1. You know, if they grief scam us 2 games in a row, we can lose. I've lost games before. Yeah, Flute also hits Priest. We've got a good amount of graveyard hate, though. They should probably take the Bauble. Is this deck better or worse than the Is It build with Kitsa and Augur? I don't know. This is our first league with it. We're 3-0. We were 6-1 with that build. I think both are pretty viable. And I kind of hope to figure that out before tomorrow, because I'll probably want to play one of these variants of the challenge. There's an Atraxa. They do kind of need that card, huh? No Frog. Just a pending. Okay. Nice little 2-for-1 there. Well, don't love drawing 2 lands in this spot. It is what it is. That's a good one. Flipping Tamiyo's not bad. Let's keep this Kitsa. Good chance my opponent minuses the Teferi next turn. I think we shuffle instead of surveilling that away, because we get a bit more value out of the surveil later. Maybe we should got actually second Steam Vents, but I have the Watery Grave. I have the push in my hand, so I might want to double Black Spell next turn. Kind of close. So it looks like they're looking for a land to Goryo's, and it looks like they haven't found it. Okay, so I need to find Cling to Dust, Hearse, Lightning Bolts, but I cut all my bolts, so I know bolts are fine. So I need to find Graveyard Hate right now. No. Flame Teferi. Flame can't target Planeswalkers. I did actually suggest in consulting, what if it could target Planeswalkers but dealt 3 damage instead of 5? I don't think that suggestion went anywhere, but boy, wish they had listened to me. Right about now. Your turn. Alright, so if they don't find Ephemerate, sometimes you could win in these spots, but we are probably cooked. I don't see an Ephemerate here, though. No Walkers in Lord of the Rings. That might have been why, honestly. That might have been why. I think I suggested 4 damage, but can hit creatures or planeswalkers, or 3 damage any target. I think is like what I pitched as tweaked to Flame of Anor. Like, just explore both those options, and they just kept it as is. Yeah, but I think you're right that they wanted to avoid any mention. But maybe 3 damage to any target would have been fine. I don't know, as is. I think it ended up in a pretty good spot. 3 to any target would be really powerful. Yeah, I think that it's I like how it is, you know. I wouldn't change it to that. I was just kind of talking about different angles to go on some of the numbers. Did anything change my suggestion? Yeah. My favorite change was Lost to Legend says historic card, because I suggested using the word historic on it. I think it hit legendary creature or artifact, and I'm like, well, this is very close to historic, so I think it'll be very flavorful for the card Lost to Legend to have the word historic on it. There were a few others too, but that's like the one that most sticks out to my memory. I know I've talked about it in the past. That for me, like, Lost Legend is a card I just love because of that. Although I also suggested, like, if it said historic, you could hit Urza Saga, but then they changed it. They had it as any historic card, and then they changed it to non-land historic card So it went from being like probably good to not good because it can't hit Saga anymore. Oh yeah, Stern Scolding, right? Yeah, I changed Stern Scolding, or I suggested changing Stern Scolding from power 2 or less to power or toughness 2 or less for Luris, Grief, Solitude, and that ended up being a really good change, I think. Until I forgot about that. Okay, so they attacked Tamiyo. They put what else did they put in there? They put another Gorya's Vengeance, a Delta, and a Grief into their hand. So they used the Grief. They pitched another Atraxa. I'm allowed to say yes, no if I've consulted any upcoming sets. I'm allowed to say no because I haven't. I haven't been asked since I said no to MH3. Okay, so if I kill that, obviously they have the Unearth still available to them. Certainly going to push it though, and then hope for the best off of this Kitsa loot. Unfortunately, my best will not be able to kill the Grief this turn. Sorry, that's a fairy this turn. That's a fairy that's given me some grief. I have no more Surveil lands in the deck. I guess I'll just discard this. I said no to I already talked about this to stream, but I said no to MH3 because they wanted me to come to Seattle for 6 weeks, which is just like not an option as a streamer to take 6 weeks off. Did I see the final version of Bowmasters? Yeah, so at the time, like Modern was really different, where like Expressive Iteration was like the de facto card advantage spell. Like they're almost like you had Bauble, and like Bowmaster punished Bauble. And there were very few other cards besides like Teferi it punished. I remember thinking that Bowmaster was like pretty good as is. And then the ring we did not see as is. Ring was very, very different. And I think it did kind of end up being good that the ring and Bowmasters have like this play against each other. But during consulting, I thought Bowmasters was pretty fine. I still think Bowmasters is pretty good card to have in Modern. I was going to shock and hold up push for Bowmaster, but that's just Preordain now. I think we can keep one of these lands, not both of them. Probably just keep the Delta. Wouldn't be the worst to keep both. Let's just keep one, though. What is it? Speaking of Expressive Iteration. So I don't love the idea of not being mana efficient this turn. But I love the idea of playing a 2-drop into a bolt even less. So let's just hold up Counterspell or push plus Surveil land. That's counterspellable. I could get Watery Grave so I could go Basim plus push. The only scenario where I'd want to do that, though, is if I drew exactly Mishra's Bauble. If I drew Amber, I could Basim plus push. So I think I'm going to get Basic Island. They put this in their graveyard. It's kind of surprising. Well, punished, I guess. That's okay. I think I'm still going to play the Basim. I think it's important to just resolve your 2-for-1. We can push this later. We can push this now. Reward it. Nice that a Murktide would be a 5/5 here. Well, I guess if they go like Land Bolt, Basim, Murktide would be pretty bad. They bubble themselves. Sulfuric Springs. Tapped. So no 5/5 Murktide this turn. Dead Basim, 3 cards in hand. 4 cards in hand after they draw off the Bauble. So it's pretty tempting to go Kitsa with Cling Up, and then like if they have another Bolt, we get to Cling and save it. But if they have a heat because they have 5 types, it dies, and we are not holding up Snap Counterspell in that situation. I think I'd rather just hold up Snap Counterspell here. And then if they don't play anything worth counter, we can just go Cling and draw 2 with Flame. Probably Snap Push instead now. The pause there certainly is representative of a Spell Pierce. So why don't I... You know, it'd be awesome if they had another snare. That'd be so good if they just snared this. We just play another Kitsa here. Maybe I'm daydreaming a little too much. But I want to get this down and like Flame when like they can't Spell Pierce. They're now an Exile Bauble because of Murktide. Yeah, you basically always want to go after their instants and sorceries instead. They also still have Delirium if I Exile Bauble. Okay, they got 2 cards in their hand. It's kind of weird, but I think I want to main phase Snap Push. Because if this gets countered, I want to play Kitsa. If it doesn't get countered, I guess I want to play Kitsa anyways, but I want to do this so that they can't effectively Spell Pierce me. And then I know that we could loot this away, but I think the ability to like spell Flame of Anor into copyable spells probably enough for me to play this Delta out. Also, we can Surveil, which is kind of like looting. Is Lauren revealed? What is this? Oh, Blood Moon plus Murktide. Holy shit. Sorry, I guess I should not have been F6. Or I was yielded till end of turn. 8/8, huh? Funny draw. So we need a bolt. Or another flame. Or Tamiyo, I guess, would keep me alive. 2 Basims and a Bauble. Walk into a bar. So my only out now is Otawara. I can't copy Flame because I'd have needed to have drawn a card to trigger Prowess on Kitsa, and I had like a reasonable number, but did not draw any. Good draw on. I guess not Preordain. Maybe just Bauble or Amber. What's the meme? A lot of people ask me, what would I do if I lost? I guess we'll never know. I guess we'll never know. Play to your outs, gamers. Play to your outs. Pony, you can't cast this Murktide. What are you doing? It's not castable. The mount this doesn't tap for blue. This doesn't tap for blue. You played the Blood Moon. You played the Blood Moon. I didn't play that Blood Moon. I didn't want to play with Blood Moon in play. This one's on you. Yeah, just speaking cards into existence all day, every day. This is uncastable. I can't Mox Amber this out. Okay, so we'll just discard this. No, no swamp in the deck. How is my luck today? Depends on what's the funniest. Amazing. Probably better for me to save the bauble for prowess. Doesn't really matter. Doesn't change the clock. Will I counterspell this Preordain? No, I don't think so. 2 on the top, 0 on the bottom, so they're going to have a red spell for me right now, probably. Counter that one. Yeah, the main consideration to keeping is so we can copy, but copying isn't as much of a thing when like we only have like one draw at it. I don't know. Should I copy this Preordain? I don't think so because they're just dead to any spell. So let's just try to find that. Wow, any spell twice. I guess you know what? They're dead, and it's kind of a BM to not just cast this, but we haven't like copied anything with Kitsa, so technically better to cast it than copy. Although not really, because they're just gonna concede. Okay, well, that was a win. A very sketchy by the skin of our teeth win, but a win nonetheless. In comes the hearse. Out comes a cling. What graveyard hate do you think is good right now? Everything feels like it has a major hole. Everything does have a major hole. Haha. And you just gotta have to pick the right card for the right deck. Like I can't tell you what graveyard hate is good without knowing what your deck is, what your bad matchups are, all that stuff. They probably win that if they don't Blood Moon too. I don't know. Maybe. It depends on what the what other cards the Blood Moon could be. How did Helga go? We played against Ugin's Labyrinth 4 times in a row. Went 1-3. Then we played against 2 other decks. Went 1-1 and pivoted. But I thought the Helga deck looked good and felt good. So I'm down to circle back to it at some point. Yeah, we all have a major hole. Let's say hypothetically Mardu/Boros synergy. So for Mardu and Boros synergy, right, what you want to be focusing on is beating opposing Phlages and beating Gorios. So, and you probably don't want to play Surgical because it's a bad hit off Ampteraptor. So you want to be playing a split of like Hearse and Nile Spellbomb. Obviously, just Hearse if you're Boros, not Nile Spellbomb and Boros, but probably like 2 Nile Spellbomb, 2 Hearse and Mardu, something like that. Maybe 3 total pieces. And you don't want to play Sanctifier because of your own Phlage. So not the most complicated. What's your plan for Psychic Frog and Blue-Red Exilus where you only have damage-based removal? Well, assuming your damage-based removal contains Unholy Heat and Galvanic Discharge, which it should, deal a lot of damage to the frog is not the worst plan. So Galvanic Discharge and Holy Heat can kill a big frog. If you just have Flame of Anor, it's tough. But like in the Isn't Wizards deck, we were playing the other day, we have 3 main deck Spell Pierce, so frog is less of a problem there also. Let's not slam the Hearse yet. It's like really common for Murktide to iteration on turn 3. And so if we can get them to iteration this turn, we counterspell, untap, Hearse them. It's gonna be hard to lose. And also if they just have iteration, maybe hard to if they just don't cast iteration, maybe it's okay. They did fetch Island into turn instead of a Steam Vents or Surveil Land, so it seems like they kept the Blood Moons in. Now I had to fetch a Watery Grave turn 1, but I'm gonna hope we can get some islands going. Spell Snare, I assume. Yeah, what did I say? Anytime I misspeak, I'm just thinking about the One Ring's play patterns, by the way. Sorry about that. So it's really tempting for me to go Sewers this turn, so I can go Hearse with Counterspell next turn. This loses to Blood Moon Spell Pierce or Blood Moon Spell Snare, plus a land, but I'm just going to not play around that, I guess. Let's keep this one. But this lets me go Amber, Tamiyo, 2-drop, 2-drop. Well, I always said the thing about Spike Streams is know what he means, not what he actually says. Yeah, I'm very scatterbrained. But you'll learn to understand eventually. I have like I have dysgraphia, which I like affects like my speech, it affects my my writing, and then Esther has audio processing issues, so I have issues talking and she has issues listening, so our conversations are kind of funny sometimes.
She was listening when you're talking shit.
What, say that.
I don't have
I don't think I
issues
heard you.
listening when you're talking shit.
That's true. Which is all the time.
But then I would never have issues listening.
I'm gonna counter this. If they like slam Moon, it's okay. We've got 2 blue mana. Obviously can't cast the push. But resolving this Hearse is pretty critical. Untap Steam Vents. Yeah, Brotherhood End. They're 1 mana short of Brotherhood End into Murktide. This could be Channeler Bolt. I think it's Channeler Heat with no Delirium is my... That's what I think they're thinking about. Okay, so it was Heat to get my Murktide all the way up to 5/5, which isn't like really good against the Flame of Anor deck. Not that I have a Flame of Anor in my hand. So I can flip the Tamiyo by sacking a clue and then snapcasting Cling to Dust. Doesn't actually seem probably correct, so let's chill. Taps are red, untaps. Hope it's a Channeler or a Monkey. Hope I'm Ragavana more than anything. Instead, it's a burn spell. I gotta do something. Gonna flash back the Cling. I'm not gonna target their graveyard because that grows the Murktide and puts me dead to another bolt. I guess I'm going to go ahead and Hearse myself also. So I draw something that can crew the Hearse. I can get in for 6. Oh, okay. Sometimes you just draw the right one. You know what I mean? What's the Big Lebowski line? Sometimes there's a man who's in the right place and time. And then I think it goes, please subscribe to Aspiring Spike. And then it says, then he starts mumbling about the ring play patterns. Why flashback over escape? We had 6 cards in our graveyard. I don't want to target my opponent's yard, so if we go, you can't escape Cling and draw a card from your own yard. If you have 6 cards, you need 7. Also, having Snapcaster in play to crew the Hearse, have a Wizard in play is pretty relevant. The postboard, a fan of the Big Lebowski. Thank you for the 5-pack. Gotta give to separate posts. Make sure to thank them. All right, Ragavan Dash Trigger on the stack. it's good to do this. They're just dead to a bolt. They're top decking. They're not top decking now. They're preordaining. I have seen the Monty Python Secret Lair. It looks pretty cool. It's sold out, right? The only Secret Lair I ever bought was the Arcane one. One on the top, one on the bottom. If they Murktide, they're just chump blocking the hearse. Sorry, just dies to flame.
What's up? It's me, your friend, Aspiring Spike.
Sometimes there's a man. Well, he's the man for his time and place. He fits right in there. And that's Aspiring Spike. Okay, so 4 won our first league with Kitsa Basim. I thought this list felt really good. We lost to, like, you know, Goryo's curving out really well both games, which is going to happen. I really would like to figure out a way to play some, like, 1-mana counterspells in the main, but I feel like the clings are really important for Flage. I don't know. Deck felt awesome. I think you could play, like, 1 less Snapcaster, 1 less cling, maybe. You get some, like, snares or pierces in the main. You could play 1 less 1-mana removal spell. Yeah. Those felt good. Tomorrow is Modern Challenge. So we'll see.